I'm thinking about, that looks like a cool OnlyFans site. I don't know about you guys, but it looks kind of cool to me.
It should be something more related to like twigs or something, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a big tree and all, but I mean, I don't know. The guy needs money, and I like hobbits, so whatever.
Better.
I totally cut you off.
Hey, did anyone see how coked out Conor McGregor was on Twitter?
No.
Oh yeah, he's coked out of his mind right now. You can see it in his face. It's just like coke bloat and booze bloat.
Bring it up. Who doesn't love a great, I guess, coked out Conor McGregor? Lovely Sherry, Soul Assassin. He's the greatest mod too. Matt's at a wedding. Oh no. All right. Here we go now. Might have to take Culture Casino out of that one. I haven't seen him in forever. Oh, we're in George.
What is the Culture Casino?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in like 2 months. I love him though. He's still a beautiful human being.
Is he though?
I mean, he is. I mean, his hair, his hair is beautiful. I know that much. So this is Connor right here.
Yes, this is Connor. They did a big fight in Ireland tonight, so he was there, and well, you can tell from the video that he's having a good time in Ireland doing all the cocaine. So
all right, let's see it.
Just give us your immediate impressions of the atmosphere and how special it is in here right now.
Got the lovely ring girls here and supporting Fortran still. So happy with them, doing a great job. It's great to be here. What are you saying?
Just talk us through the atmosphere. How special is it to be here and how excited you feel?
Great to be here. It's amazing to be here supporting Katie. I'm a little bit nervous and all.
You can see a little bit super hyper on cocaine is that you're answering questions before they even finish asking you the
right,
question.
but you're also like looking everywhere, like you can't focus.
Very excited.
Well, he's not in the start of pool anymore, so.
Katie all day.
Can we see an octagon in here before long, do you think?
An octagon, a ring, I'll deal with all the phone box.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta get out of here. So
yeah, before the cops show up.
How old is Conor McGregor?
He's only like 34.
33 or 34, something like that, yeah.
Is he still fighting, or is he like kind of like you think it's over?
Well, the recent news that just broke in the last couple of days is that apparently he's finally rejoining the USADA pool after like 4 months after they announced that he was coming back to the Ultimate Fighter. So apparently he is going to come back either in December of this year or January of next year is when his
because you have to be 6 months in the pool before you can fight after you quote unquote left the pool.
What? Yeah. What's the pool?
He left the pool.
You mean just a group of fighters?
It's the drug test.
So it's a drug test pool.
Yeah. So
because he broke his leg, so they had to give him all the stuff that if he was still in the USADA pool, he'd get suspended. So he left the pool, and then that means when you come back, you have to wait 6 months before you can be sanctioned to fight.
Yep. All right. And you have to pass at least 2 drug tests within that 6 months as well. So.
He doesn't look like he's on par, but welcome everybody.
Well, I mean, before he was the most tested fighter for ages.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah. He was a madman. But welcome to the dump, everybody. It's Saturday night. We have a decent. I'm not gonna say good. I don't want to get your hopes up. So we got a decent show for you.
We got an
aight show. We're gonna be looking at some Indiana Jones 5 Indy 5 reviews on Rotten Tomato or Tomatoes.
Who could have predicted that film was going to suck?
Right, and even the industry guys are like, they must be trolls,
Yeah.
They have to be trolls.
Hey, they're review bombing this movie.
They're review bombing, and they're racist.
Yep.
Sexist too.
Sexist is even better.
Internalized misogyny is the word that they have to use.
Yes, right? That's it. We're going to take a quick look at let's see, The Little Mermaid. We might talk about that actress. I was willing not to attack her because young girl, big first, movie. But man, she can't shut the frig up about racism. They are going. We know the new.
That and the fact that her face looked like North Korea and South Korea because their eyes don't trust each other.
Yeah, dude. Who was at the casting this girl is perfect. Mm-hmm. She looks like a flounder. This is fantastic.
We're going for Ariel. It's close enough.
Close enough. I mean, she is a mermaid. But that girl's getting really annoying. We're going to talk Kathleen Kennedy and the destruction of Star Wars and Disney altogether.
You gotta be a little, give her a little leeway because you have to remember we've never had a black Disney princess ever in the history of Disney movies. It's never happened before now.
Isn't it? Wait a minute. I thought there was one with a
frog. No. We've never had a black Disney princess up until this very moment. It's never happened in the history of Disney.
Especially one who used to be a redhead. That's never happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kind of like, Captain Marvel was the first superhero film for a woman, headlining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first.
Yeah, the first ever. Also, Black Panther was the
Jennifer
first
Lawrence
superhero.
has something to say about that.
Yeah, first superhero movie with a black, main superhero. There was no Blade. No. Forget it. No. She's part hammerhead shark.
Yeah.
That poor girl, man. She's gonna get destroyed. Whoever would as her parents, wouldn't you be look, if they had a new Goonies, there's a role for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say Baby Ruth? But other than that, come on.
Oh, I thought you meant the Asian kid. Yeah, that makes way more sense.
Way more sense, right?
Yeah.
Pitches of hell. I love that dude. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm just sick and tired of this narrative that before the movie starts, we're going to attack people for being racist so that when it flops, that's the reason, because everybody's racist or sexist out there.
And we were talking about this earlier this week. This is the tell how a movie is going to be absolutely horrible, because what these critics will do is that they'll tell you, okay, well, the film's not great, but this one actress here that we're trying to protect, she was actually really good, and the film didn't do her justice. What that really means is that the entire film sucks, but they think that they're saving grace by saying, well, the actress was really good. That way they can't be outright called for being racist and sexist, because that's what they've been doing to everybody else up to this point. So
Right. Screw it. I'm sick. The race swapping stuff needs to stop for the sake of race swapping. Mm-hmm. Find a great actress. I gotta say goodnight to my daughter. Hold on. You guys keep talking.
No, I gotta go say goodnight to my kids. Well, I guess it's just my show now, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, no, look, this whole Little Mermaid stuff, we all know the game that's been going on here for quite some time. The fix has been in before this whole thing even started. So when, like I said, you're going to start seeing the reviews. They're probably going to be somewhere about, I would say, 60 or 70 to start off with. It'll start to trail out from there. And if you actually read the reviews, because they always show you the score, but they don't tell you what the actual content of the reviews say. It's going to be the same thing over and over again. Oh, this movie is absolutely terrible. The effects aren't good, blah, blah, blah. But Halle Berry, she's really good, and she deserves another chance. Don't judge her too much for this movie. It's going to be like, yeah, okay. So
where do you reckon it's going to eventually sit for a viewer score?
I think it will be somewhere. I think more like the high 60s is probably where I would put it, honestly, because it is like a black woman at the end of the day. So they're gonna do whatever they can to try to prop that up as much as they can, because they really don't want that film to be bad. Like we talked about the reviews that Indiana Jones is getting right now. They've completely given up on that one, and I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with Lucasfilms, but I think this is as close to people are saying, okay, we have to do something about Kathleen Kennedy, because now you've essentially bombed two major franchises under your wing of both Star Wars and Indiana Jones. So it's like, why is she still around? Does she have Polaroid somewhere in a safe right now? Because that seems.
I think so. I mean, she's been around enough people to get enough dirt.
It's like I don't understand it. It's like. So they sunk billions of dollars into this whole Star Wars retreat. So much was put into it. So many of these YouTubers that you guys follow and these content creators kissed the ass of Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy and Disney for so many years because they wanted to be a part of this whole Star Wars experience. And within 1 year, automatically just bombed because no one, I don't know if you realize this because, you know, maybe you guys haven't been following the news, but financially we're not exactly in a great spot right now. I know people will tell you about the Biden boom and how unemployment is not really that bad, and don't worry about all these banks that are collapsing and stuff like that. Well, guess what? People really don't have $2,000 to spend on a stupid gimmick hotel.
What was it? Was $6,000 in total for it? That was the problem.
Up to seven. Up to seven.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking Galaxy Cruise.
Yeah,
yeah. You only ever heard like reviews and everything from people who got it for free. You never heard. Yeah, like that was the weird thing. Like I looked for reviews and no one. They were all people who had channels or magazines or something. I don't think anyone who was a normie actually went there.
You know, I have to say I did see one. Like I paid $7,000 and it was worth it type shit. But then you're like, okay, did you?
Mark.
Did you really? You know,
there's a term in pro wrestling that we use, and we call them marks. Those are the people who literally buy anything you put in front of them because they can't help themselves. And Disney has their own marks. Like everyone's using the pro
100%.
Wrestling model to the T right now.
Well, that's the thing. You got a lot of people that have more dollars than cents. So what? You know, they've got all this extra money, so they're going to get them to go along because this is an experience that they can't actually normally get and buy. So it's something new. So they're happy to drop $7,000 because it means nothing to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
but meanwhile, they'll go on Twitter and complain
like,
about people making more money than them or that they can't afford rent. I mean, they'll just drop like $7,000 on Star Wars.
Yeah, and you know what? Like we're at a point where like Chef Nick here, who has a great Instagram page, channel, whatever you call it. Follow him over there. He does some great recipes. But like we're so beyond Disney now as a whole. Like I want to see this company implode. Like I am so sick and tired of Disney and their identity, ideology and their gender politics and all their bullshit. Like I don't care.
Like,
they got very cocky.
They got cocky. Like after like the whole, I think it was like around like Infinity War around that time, they thought to themselves that their shit just doesn't stink. That no matter what they put out in front of the masses, people are gonna buy it because it's Disney. It's a trusted brand. Look at how much money people are spending on Infinity War and Endgame, and then look at the box office receipts for the Star Wars movie. It's like we're on top right now. We're gonna start pushing our own agenda, and all it took was just one little, it feels like it's just been the course of like 1 year, but just flip of the switch and everything's going downhill for them right now. So now they have to renegotiate the entire future of their company.
Well, and then there's like
one dog shit phase sunk the company essentially.
Did you see there's like some type of also like streaming, like, you know, Shell Game doing something with money. They were like kind of like shuffling money around in a illegal way. I think I read something about that.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing that for a while. Essentially, what they've been doing is that because there is a giant umbrella like Disney Studios, Marvel Studios, Pixar, all these other companies, is that in order to fool their shareholders into thinking that they're financially more sound than they are, if one movie or one project loses more money than they are comfortable with, they'll essentially shift the budget or they'll allocate those funds to another project to make it seem like it wasn't as big as a flop as it actually was in reality.
Okay.
That's what happened with Strange World last year when Lightyear flopped. They decided, okay, we're going to take the money from Strange World and put that over towards pushing Black Panther 2 because we feel like we're going to make more money with Black Panther 2 than we are with Strange World. So they essentially fudged the numbers to make it seem like that if they take the losses away from Strange World 2, it makes Black Panther not seem as bad by comparison.
Right. And then they're taking a bunch of stuff off of Disney Plus. They lost like over 4 million subscribers, and they blame it on like not getting a cricket thing in India, whatever. That had something to do with it. But come on.
That's the thing. That whole cricket thing was like months ago, and they're still losing subscribers. So they can't just blame it all on India. They're losing subscribers all across the board because, like I said, you guys showed your hand with this whole Florida thing and all the whole LGBTQ. By the way, if you guys are sick and tired of this LGBTQ stuff towards children, wait another couple of weeks because you know Pride Month is coming right around the corner. So all the content you're going to see over the next few weeks here is all going to be aimed strictly at kids. They're all going to have drag queens. Like they're going to triple down on.
Dude,
on
I saw a bathing
might even
suit.
be able to get monetized.
Well, listen to this. I saw a baby. Whoa, let's rephrase that. I saw a bathing suit at Target that was marketed for young boys that helped them tuck.
Yeah.
Like, are you?
Target's been doing a lot of that. Like, Target's been apparently
What?
They also have this thing where they're like doing like chest binders for girls, so that way they can like smush down their breasts to make it seem like they're
I'm so
flat
done with
chested,
this
so they can
shit,
pretend
man.
to be men. Oh yeah, Target's all in.
I
on
mean,
that.
it's the right name. The actual full company name isn't Target. It's We're Targeting Your Children. Is the actual company name.
Darren,
But they just go by Target.
Yeah, exactly. We're targeting your children. So
this is why Kmart should have won.
now Disney, I feel like Star
It
Wars.
did out here. Kmart's the biggest retailer.
Is it really?
Yep, it's massive.
Oh my
here.
God, we
Yeah.
don't have Kmart, or we used to have one called Caldor because it had an accent mark. No one ever pronounced it correctly. They said Caldors, but I'm pretty sure it was Caldor. Yeah, I used to love those places because they were cheap. But let me ask you guys: do you think it was the Galaxy Star Cruiser was the amount of money you had to spend, or the content because it was the sequel shit, or what do you think was the reason it failed?
I think it was an insane amount of money they were expecting people to buy. At the same time, we're financially way worse off now than we were when this whole project was in development maybe a few years ago. Like, I can understand that this thing sounded like a good idea maybe 5 years ago when they were starting to put this thing together, where people actually had some money that they were willing to spend, were financially in a better place than we were years ago. But now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, like I said, wages are going down, inflation is skyrocketing, and people are essentially making the choice between leisure and necessity, and they're leaving leisure behind, which means that, hey, people are not going to spend thousands of dollars to go to a Disney Star Wars retreat right now. It ain't going to happen. So
yeah, no, you're right. I mean, when inflation and average goes up like 7 to 14%, and you may be one of the lucky ones that gets a 3% bump a year, you're not catching up.
You're not catching up.
No, you're not.
If inflation is at a rate of 9% a year and you're getting a 3% raise, you're still way behind.
Yeah, so we're saying
it had zero value for money. That was the problem. Like, they had like, even their merch. Like, someone went there to buy a whole bunch of merch. They didn't sell any Darth Vader merch. It's Star Wars, and you decide not to sell any Darth Vader merch.
Yeah,
because Rey is our
but
future. Also,
like, people went and they weren't the type to get immersed in it either. So if you didn't do that, like, what was the reason to go? Just to say you went? Like, there was a lot of, like, you could almost go on quests, but
which hardly anyone apparently did,
right?
Because they weren't really immersive. They were just, you do this thing, you've got to go over here, scan this thing, go here, scan this, report it back here. Oh, look, you've done it. You're now a part of the Rebel Alliance. It's like, wait, what does that mean though? Like,
right?
I didn't do anything.
What's up, Mark?
I just went and scanned some advertisements for you.
Yeah. What do you feel about the sinking of the Star Cruiser?
Oh man, it feels so good. It feels so good. Some of you might remember, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, I did a story about young Ollie Jones. Ollie, he passed away. He was 4 years old.
Yeah, Ollie, I remember that. Yes.
And his father Lloyd was trying to get the image of Spider-Man on his tombstone because he wanted to remember his son that way. Loved Spider-Man.
Yep.
Disney stood in the way of that. They didn't want to let him do that. To grieve his 4-year-old son who had passed away. Yep. They stood in the way of it because they wanted to protect the innocence of their character.
Yeah.
All right. And I remember saying about 4 or 5 years ago that if Disney continues to do business this way, with this type of regard for the very people who support and love their characters, then inevitably this type of thing would happen, because their business practices are on display for the whole world to see. They're cynical, they exploit.
Yes.
And they're not sincere in wanting to honor, the integrity of these characters and the relationship that they have with the audience. And so sooner or later, people are going to pick up on that. Mm-hmm. Like the Galactic Starcruiser was not something that was there for the people. It wasn't there for the lovers of Star Wars. We would have come in there. We would have been breaking down the door, getting in there. But if it was something that we could relate to.
But even it wasn't there for the middle class.
No.
No. Like, the average family can't afford $7,000. It was like, that was the base.
I mean, the regular average family can't even afford regular Disneyland tickets, let alone
That's
where
true.
the hell this
It's
thing's
expensive
supposed
as
to be.
hell. You know, one of my first
Let
videos.
alone $200 soft drinks.
Mark, I wanted you to finish your thought, but one of my first videos was on Ali. I remember that very well. It was it hurt. It hurt when Disney did that to his father. His father was on a couple channels, I remember, and it hurt listening to him talk about it.
Absolutely
painful, man. I believe I was on one with him, but it was painful to listen to.
Yeah, you cannot do business that way and think that, especially, you know, Disney is known for being like family friendly and all of that stuff. They have if anyone has a reputation for that, it would be Disney. That's the name in family entertainment and family values and stuff. And they have betrayed their own reason for being, you know, so this had to catch up to them sooner or later. What they did with the Galactic Starcruiser was disgusting. They put it out of reach of the people, of the families. And they thought some good was going to come from that. The whole world knew what they were doing. They were giving us a big middle finger. This is just for the rich people.
Yeah.
You know?
Right before you go, say what you want to say, Jacob. Look at that. 2-night stay for 2 people started at around $5,000. 2 people started at $5,000. So you're family of 4, family of 5. Dude, you could build a pool, an addition, like start an addition on your house. Like, that is a lot of money for a family to do. So it wasn't made for us.
Put this into perspective. If you have a job and you're only getting paid $16 an hour, you would have to work for about 3 months after taxes to be able to afford a ticket for a 2-night stay at this place. It's like, look, Disney has been rebelling against their founder Walt for like decades now, ever since he died. And we've gotten to a point where Disney's reputation as like the family-friendly brand has completely been destroyed here in the last couple of years. Like I said, people are now turning to Universal. Like someone mentioned Nintendo like earlier. It's like, yeah, people are like, okay, well, Disney's a tainted brand, so I'm going to go somewhere else. Now, I would slightly warn against, you know, the idea that, oh, well, Universal's better than Disney. Politically, they're no different than Disney. The only difference is Universal is smart enough to know to shut the F up when money's involved. So that's your only really true difference between those two companies on that respect. But yeah, I mean, they're losing ground and they're trying to deny the reality that, yeah, we really screwed up here because we can't go back and apologize because then we have to admit we were wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's true, man.
So,
that's true.
Bon voyage, baby. See at the bottom of the sea, Galactic Cruiser.
Oh man, I'm glad. I'm glad it's gone. Real quick, I'm going to show this because she doesn't want me to show it now. So I'm definitely Sherry made a little picture of a group of us. If fun to stay at the YMCA. Yeah. So I'm the construction worker. Okay, that's pretty cool. You're a cop.
Thank God, I was worried I was going to be the gay one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, you're Australian. That's native. That's native. I can actually see, you know, Mad wearing that, and Steven, because you know how much he loved Brokeback Mountain, and Jacob in the back as the, I don't know what was he, Navy, the Navy guy, right? So that's already gay. We've seen what the Navy's been doing with their promotional shit. Pronouns.
Young man. Take a walk down the street. I said,
it was already in my head. Couldn't help it.
You can't help it. It automatically jumps in there.
But the problem is because I don't know all the words halfway through it. I just cut to in the Navy.
There's a song that's even gayer than that, but I'm not sure if I can play it because of how YouTube copyright things are.
Oh yeah, they'll copyright. What is it?
Yeah, I'll just put it in the private chat. And then,
okay.
And
so
macho man.
I wanna be.
It's raining men.
No, it's even worse.
Macho man. So, again, Disney. I mean, Disney's out of reach for everybody. I mean, what is it now? $1.50, $1.80 a ticket at Disney World?
Way more than that.
I know I know he was in here before, the Rogue Attraction. I don't know if he's still in here. He goes to the Disney parks all the time. He would know the pricing absolutely. You know, it's ridiculous. Like, how am I going to take my family? You know, I have a decent job. It's decent. My wife works too. We pay way more money in freaking daycare than we should, but we pay a lot of money in daycare. So even going on a trip is hard.
Depending on how many days you go, it's between $105 and $145 per ticket.
Wow.
Yeah.
To go stand around in the heat on a 3-hour line.
Yeah.
I'm
And that doesn't
sorry.
include like concessions or any kind of like park pass or parking or anything like that. That's all separate cost.
It's nuts.
Uh-huh.
It's nuts, man. So,
big head Mickey Mouse or big head Donald Duck can just walk by you and not say anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can go into a Star Wars universe you don't know and recognize. Like, wait a minute, when was this?
All right, you've convinced me. Sign me up.
Yeah, there you go. We have Mr. Bigwig, Maji, AG, Lig, Vietnam, Ham, Jam, Fig, Stig for Try 22. Where is the Mad Mardigan? He said he would be here. He said he was trying to be here.
He's trying.
He got sucked into a wedding. Mad is...
It wasn't his one, so...
No,
I
it
think
wasn't
he's
his.
back.
So he should be able to come. But Matt is part of the soul of Sporking News now. That man is hilarious. We should show his his beer commercial. The guy is brilliant. His beer commercial is hilarious.
Speaking of beer, it just goes to show you where we're at, like as a country, because everything going on with like Bud Light and like Miller Lite trying everything that they do to alienate their audience. It would be so smart right now if Coors Light just came out with a commercial, be like, "Hey, are you a man? You just want to drink beer? Buy Coors Light. Hey, are you a woman? You just want to drink beer? Buy Coors Light." Boom, and that would be it. Like, they would be like the #1 beer brand in the country right now if they just put out a 30-second ad that did that and nothing else.
So
I mean, apart from the fact that they're Coors Light, I mean that's their only downfall.
Right. Well, I mean, you're going up against Bud Light and Miller Lite. Miller Lite like must have been, because they put that out a while back. That was for like Women Appreciation Month or whatever. So I never saw it, but they must have been sweating bullets praying for that day not to happen, where people noticed that commercial. Mm-hmm. That commercial was just ridiculous, disrespecting the models that, became, famous because of those ads, started their careers. Like, and is it wrong for women to want to look like sexy in a bikini? Because the way they made it sound, either you're this slutty person in a bikini or you're working in a brewery as the brewmaster.
So because they blocked out their face, does that mean that they no longer have to pay them any rights to show their likeness?
Well, you see, you're starting to realize now that this whole narrative over the last 30 years has been into one big giant con. You see, 30 years ago, the way that they used to attack bikini models was by saying, "Oh, they're promoting an unhealthy body type." Because if you're trying to be like one of these models on television, you're going to starve yourself, and it's going to promote anorexia and bulimia and all that old nonsense. And then what you realize was, oh no, they were just jealous of women that looked better than them, and they didn't want to see them. So now they're promoting women that look more like them, which are possibly a more unhealthy body type. That whole argument's gone now because we're in control, so we don't need to acknowledge what we said in the past.
Like the Dove soap one, I can't find it, but like that.
Lorena Creel got a shout out from Fox News about that.
Really?
I saw that. Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome, man. Good for her. But yeah, that Dove ad is ridiculous. Like, just the idea that we have to accept it. We have to accept that an unhealthy body is the real image and health. Like, I don't want my kids to think first of all, I don't want my kids to think they have to be a twig either, but I don't want them to have to think that unhealthy, unexercised person is a healthy diabetic too. Way to live. It is not.
It's the idea that, oh no, these video games and these movies and these superheroes, they're promoting unrealistic body types. It's like, yeah, they're video games. They're superheroes. They're not supposed to be realistic body types. Unless you can fly from one side of the world to another in 5 seconds, it's not supposed to be realistic.
Right.
Even then, realistic in this country, that's a fairly recent thing that everybody's a bunch of fat asses. Previous generations, they led a healthier lifestyle. Women, no matter what you might think about it, women were in the home to cook a decent meal, and they were healthy, and everybody sat down and they had their portion. There wasn't the drive-through and all of this stuff now. Like this thing that they're talking about that's normal is pretty much abnormal at this point. Yes. We're not supposed to be eating all of this unhealthy crap that they're putting out here in front of us, all of these preservatives and all of that. You know,
I mean,
that
not only
just
that,
shows
but
you how sinister they are.
If you're old enough to remember, there was a time in this country where we argued against, well, actually cooking stuff in animal fat is bad for you. So we need to switch over to oil
margarine.
because oil is safer.
Yeah.
And then we bought that for 20 years and now everyone's unhealthy as they
It started with the food pyramid.
Oh,
the food pyramid was incorrect. It should be more balanced, not mostly carbs. You know, like it should be a balanced thing. And that was because of one doctor, and he was a very brutish doctor who bullied people into believing that in the 50s. There's a great...
And he also came out 2 years afterwards and said this is wrong.
Yeah, well, it was a couple years. I don't know if it was 2 years. It was a couple years after. But there's also a great documentary. I can't remember if it's the Magic Pill or the Sugar movie, but there's one that takes a look at indigenous people in Australia, how they were like just thin and ripped and healthy, and they died of old age. And when we introduced a westernized style diet into their lives, within a generation, they were dying of heart failure, diabetes, heart disease. It's all this processed shit.
Liver disease is a big issue as well.
Right. And people think
this is what happens.
Right.
When the pharmaceutical company has their country by the balls.
Yep.
Because, everything that ails them, they got a pill for.
Absolutely.
They got a pill for it. They got a shot for it. Come to us. We'll keep you alive. Just keep on shoveling that crap into your faces and into your children's faces and all of that. And that's what the problem is. So that goes hand in hand with this whole body positivity thing, where you can't call somebody fat and unhealthy without people jumping on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. And
I mean, at least we don't live in a world where like a giant pharmaceutical company controls everything. Because scary.
Not every commercial on the news is,
brought to you by Pfizer.
Pfizer, exactly. Fauci ouchies. Yeah, so it's ridiculous that like this Dove one is a gaming one. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's like pretty much.
Yeah, so essentially some fat chick who was like part of the marketing development of Dove inserted herself into an ad depicting herself as a video game character. And she starts off all pretty and nice looking, and then she looks like the way she actually looks like in real life. And then it's supposed to be powerful and inspiring, and all it makes people want to do is to wash themselves with zest rather than Dove.
Yeah, hold on. You know what? I'll just play it. I'm not going to play the music or anything, so they don't try to claim me probably. But yeah, this is it. Just keep an eye on it. Hold on if I can get in there. There we go. So yeah, she starts out all ripped, like an actual.
Yeah, so right away the feminists are like, why does she have to look like that? That's not realistic.
Yeah. And it's like they got all the covers where they're in great shape. And what is it? She takes this off and she's all just bloop. So stupid. It's just so stupid that like this is more healthy. That's the way you should look.
They don't understand how basic marketing works, because it's like the reason why women in video games and their movies look more attractive is because that's actually going to help sell whatever product it is to their target demographic, which is mostly men.
Yeah, but there's certain groups that these ad agencies look at their reports and they're not the right groups to look at, because they definitely have their own agenda. And their agenda is this obesity, the breakdown of the family and religion and sexuality.
74% of women feel unrepresented in video games.
Oh my God.
I said, this person is literally, she self-inserted herself into this whole genre. She's like, well, actually, I feel unrepresented, so I'm going to find some BS stat from the internet that backs up my claim.
Like, you should be proud of that. That's so stupid, man. It's so stupid. And it's disrespectful to people that work hard to look that way. Yes, for a long time, models, like it was too much, like really thin heroin chic is wrong. And then we got into a wave in the mid to late 90s of like the J-Lo and Beyonce look, where you could be a little bit beefier and have curves, and that's okay. And I thought, again, in the 90s, I thought we were on the right track. And then we get to today and it's all messed up again. What are we looking at?
Yeah, so this was a thing on Fox News when they brought up Loretta's tweet.
Oh, and what does the tweet say? That's awesome.
So it says, so as a female gamer myself, it seems you want us to play as unattractive, dumpy-looking female characters. I don't think so.
That is so awesome, dude. That is so awesome. Good for her. Congratulations.
Go ahead, Raina.
Yeah, Rain. I love when I see people like get shout outs and succeed. It's awesome. Yeah, I don't know,
But
man.
what I wanted to say too about this
please.
whole fat superhero thing and all that. Listen, fantasy, it's called that for a reason. A lot of people like to imagine themselves at their best.
Yeah.
This is something that what do we go to school for? I mean, we go to school because we want to get educated. We don't just sit there and say, accept me as a dumbass. You know what I mean? This is me in my natural state. I don't know anything. Love me. No, it's like it should always be about self-improvement, and everything. And they act like this is something that's wrong, that people should be that way. Like to them, they probably couldn't fathom that somebody who was in a wheelchair would actually fantasize about not being in the wheelchair.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said,
why do physical therapy?
And then when you
just
have
accept me this way,
weight loss stories of people who've lost like 100, 200 pounds and now they're in much better health than they were before, they get angry at those people because it's like, no, you should have stayed fat because you were perfect the way that you are. It's like that I don't understand.
It's bullying too. You like if you say to be healthy, like or to exercise or they bully these people, they attack them, and it's like, well, you're doing like it's almost like high school losers. You had a bad high school environment and a lot of them got together and now they control social media. And because of that, the advertising companies and big production companies in Hollywood are listening to them. And it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous to teach children to be either too thin or too fat. They should be healthy, eat right, exercise, be healthy. It helps with your mental state, everything. And it's hard to do. I get that, but geez, man, come on.
Yeah.
Especially these days, because we already know that coming out of COVID, a comorbidity was obesity. So, how hypocritical are we as a society, as a pop culture, to actually promote such a thing in these days and times?
And to show how much we care about your health is that when we did find that out, we decided that we were going to shut down all the gyms in the world.
Right.
And then we had to make it so, hey, you want to go back into a gym? Why don't you get our shot here and get one for the rest of your life if you want to enter a gym?
I wonder, because we did find that out, is there something more conspiratorial about all this? Because we already, it already is to me, a commie push to, screw with the idea of male and female in America, to screw with the idea of family and religion. But I mean, now we're saying, don't worry, you be overweight. You'll be fine. Oh yeah. You might die from a common cold, but still don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing that. Like,
dude, I'm over it, man. It's like I was talking about, it was a video a few months ago. I was talking about Lizzo and how, she stands up, I'm a proud fat black woman and everything. Obesity, heart disease, diabetes, the number one cause of death for black women specifically. All right. So when you have her saying stuff like that, I was saying, treat her as a traitor, because you are literally dying out here. And they're telling you that it's okay to continue that way. Right. You're losing your babies. This is a thing that I talk with my sister, because this is part of her expertise, where she was saying the number of black women specifically dying in the state of pregnancy and childbirth is skyrocketing. And a lot of it has to do with an unhealthy lifestyle. So when you have these people being put up on a pedestal, right, while this is happening, you have no choice but to identify them as the traitors that they are. Now, of course, my comment section blew up with people calling me a self-hater, but this just goes to show you how confused we are today. And I pointed out black women, but this is all across the board. It just so happens that they tend to be the canary in the coal mine, but it's happening all over the place.
How many 70 and 80-year-old obese black women do you see? Like morbidly obese? You don't. Like I mean, that's the thing. Like I've got friends who say, "Oh, I might be fat, but underneath, I'm probably more healthy than you," because they genuinely believe that. Mm-hmm. Just because they don't feel.
I want to bring up something here for a second, just to show you just how completely blind people are, the masses are to everything around them. Now, I don't know the exact name of whatever festival this is from or like what the deal was, but I guess it's some kind of like big time like EDM festival here, and this is some of the images, some of the videos that they played at this thing. And keep in mind, like while this is happening, everyone there is on their cell phone showing what's on the screen right now. I'm pretty sure most of them are high on ecstasy or Molly, but I want you to notice like a trend here with a couple of these things. This is one video that I saw. I'll tell you, I'll turn the audio off just in case, you know.
Yeah, they'll get us.
Yeah.
What is this, like a DJ?
I like I said, I have no of the context of this outside of it's like a major like EDM like concert here. So I would say they're showing you robots, they're showing you like forms of like AI and stuff like that, which is very interesting that we're doing this massive AI push right now. That seems very manufactured. Then here's another video.
Everyone there had their phones out. Like that's like no one's experiencing it.
No one experiences shit anymore. They experience it through their phone. Like I can't stand that. Like
none of them are good cinematographers or anything.
I found out Joe Rogan's new comedy place, dude. They literally, you have to lock your, I don't know if it's locked, but there's like boxes either under your seats or when you first come in to put your phone so you can enjoy the show. You don't have to always be the one that posts it, man. Enjoy it, live it.
But here's the other one too. So this is the second video from the same one.
Jeez. Well, again,
there it is.
Get the kids used to it. They're going to love it.
So, and I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, you know, people are just so blind to the world that's in front of them that even if you put it right in front of their face, they still won't see it. And that's kind of where we're at right now, just as a society, like in general, because we can talk about conspiracy theories all day. We can even show people a conspiracy theory playing out in real time, right in front of their face. And what they're going to do, they're going to sit there with their cell phone out in amazement. It's like, oh my God, this is so cool. And not even understand the game that's being played right now.
Right. And, you know, they use that term to discredit you. But the truth is, conspiracy theory is just a conspiracy until it's proven right. And a lot of them have been proven right lately. And that's really scary.
And I know, you know, once it is proven right, they got an answer for that too. Well, there's nothing we can do to stop it. So what's the point in talking about it?
Exactly.
There was a woman, I think it was like on Twitter, I can't remember the exact account, but they were arguing about, you know, this gender reassignment for children and stuff like that. And this one woman was like, oh no, they're not sterilizing children. And he was like, well, this is what they're doing to kids. It's like, okay, so they're sterilizing, but even if that's true, like, why do you care? It's like 5 seconds ago, you just said it wasn't happening. Now that we've confirmed that it is happening, you've moved on to, well, why do you care? It's like, it's never the realization of, oh God, this actually is going on. It's like, they're just going to continue to deny it.
Look at the, you know, the Russian Russiagate, you know, with Donald Trump. I mean, it was all bullshit. And people just are like, well, whatever. They tried to ruin a president.
Well, maybe he didn't do it this time, but you know, he's definitely done worse in the past. So this is making up for it.
He said, grab him by the pussy. You know, like, are you effing kidding me, man? Like, do you not understand? It doesn't matter if you're left, right, center, Republican. What they did to a sitting president, that's terrifying. That was a coup. And you all just sat there and now you're just like, well, it is whatever because I can't stand him. I don't care if it was Bill Clinton, you know, or Obama or, you know, Hillary Clinton if she was president. That is not something I would be sitting by and being okay with. The FBI being used as a tool to destroy somebody else's political views. That's scary, man.
But most people aren't going to care because they're just going to go on their TikTok and pour gasoline on somebody's car to get views on their new account. So
Yep.
Well, they refuse to believe that if it could happen to him, it could happen to anybody. It's like you said before, just because they don't like him, it makes it acceptable.
Yep.
But had they done it to Obama, then oh my God, they would have had him like Jesus, man.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. You know, it's just, it's ridiculous. I don't care what you think about the man. It's the title he held and what they were trying to do to him is paramount to a coup. You know, it really was. It was a different style, but it was a way to different groups of the government trying to get a president out of office because they didn't like him illegally doing it, you know, and it was terrifying. But another
But,
president.
I was just gonna say, just real quick before we jump off to the next topic, it's like if you can't even get people to accept that, even though the evidence is right there in front of their face, how can you get them to accept the fact that there's people behind the scenes that are trying to replace you with robots,
Right.
like literally replace you with robots,
Right.
And they say, oh no, that's not true. That's some of the wild conspiracy theory. It's like, okay,
Ridiculous, man.
Even
Well, we
when
haven't.
they show you to your face.
Well, we have another president here, Kathleen Kennedy. She's just doing great. Does the galaxy need the Jedi? This is what Rey's film is going to be about. Do they want them back? And I just wonder if the answer in her type of film is no. You know,
I mean, we already know
She's not
that
even a Jedi, so why does it matter?
right.
she's a Skywalker. Grant, did you not watch the last movie?
Right?
No, actually, I didn't.
She has a golden laser sword. It's ridiculous, man. They have destroyed the things we love. Here's another one that I saw on Mark's tweet today. Star Wars Heir to the Empire movie has a Luke Skywalker problem. Like this, CBR, first of all, pisses me off. But like, it has a Luke Skywalker problem. Like, clickbait much? Like, first of all, it's Dave Filoni doing the movie. And either you're a Dave Filoni stan, who these people will defend that jerk off like all the way because he made Ahsoka in the Clone Wars and it was so good.
I gotta yell at Soul Assassin here for a second. He asked, "Do they know Star Wars?" It's like, have you been paying attention? What have they done in the last 10 years to make you believe that they in any way, shape, or form understand Star Wars? Like, have you seen the movies at this point?
Other than it makes a lot of money. That's all they understand about it.
On past glory, not based on what they're doing.
Right. And they're I mean, look at the Star Wars based stuff they're doing. Has it made money? Has it made the money worth a $4 billion sale?
Well, no, because the first movie made a bunch of money because it was the first Star Wars movie in 20 years, and people wanted to see what it was going to be and whatnot. And then we had The Last Jedi, which pretty much killed the fan base at that point. And then that one only made about half of what the first one did. And then you had The Rise of Skywalker that made even less than that. And all your spin-off Star Wars movies, I think, lost money or didn't even make enough money to even be like recognized. So it's like they've literally burnt this thing to the ground in record time to the point where, like I said, $4 billion is what you paid for it. Have you gotten any of that money back? Have you broken even on your total investment after everything you've put into it at this point? Mm-hmm. You just wasted another $2 billion on this whole hotel thing that bombed. So
it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. It's and again, Heir of the Empire was a big Luke, Leia, and Han film. So what are you going to do with it now? You can't. What are you going to CGI them all back in for the entire movie?
No, it'll be just Rey.
Yeah, they're going to reinterpret it and put different characters in their places.
Ahsoka.
it's going to be a lot more women.
Yeah.
Right? It'll be Ahsoka. And the Mandalorian
just gonna be like,
chicks.
wow, where did all these women come from in the last 30 years? It's like they're like 70% of the cast now. That's odd.
Yeah. I don't. How long has it been since they purchased it? 2014? Or was it 12?
2012, I think, is when they purchased it. But the first, The Rise of Skywalker came out. Not Rise of Skywalker. Force Awakens came out in 2015.
Yeah.
So
since that movie, which I didn't really care for, I thought it was going to go one way and it totally didn't go, but I didn't despise it. I just was like, where are they going with this? But we all know, Last Jedi came out. That's why the majority of us have channels, Mm-hmm. But the thing that I don't get is that since then, it's been shit after shit after shit, except for the screaming stands. Like, even the normies are a little like, okay, I'm over The Mandalorian. Boba Fett was terrible. Rogue One, I just don't know how they don't see that they're going down the wrong path and they're going full speed ahead. They don't give a shit. They are completely doing the Kathleen Kennedy, dance. And it's like she's getting people that don't know the product. She's getting people that don't care that, about Star Wars. And again, Dave Filoni and his fucking girl.
it was never their intention to expand this thing to the masses. Their idea was, hey, we're in charge now, and we're going to make this about women, because women weren't represented in the last 40 years of Star Wars in their mind. So now that we have our hands on the controls, we're going to turn this into a female-driven product. So that's exactly what you're going to get. And we're going to keep giving it to you, because if you say anything about it, we're just going to label you as sexist through our media, because all these jerk-offs over here are going to be too busy trying to get into a Star Wars hotel to actually call it out for what it is.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but it's hurting though. It's bleeding, and it's pretty humiliating if you ask me. You see what's going on with the Starcruiser, what's about to happen with Indiana Jones. It just looks like a big old mess, and everybody can see it happening. So I can't imagine that they would be happy with that. Their shareholders, whoever is behind the scenes, everyone is seeing it, man.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot to be proud of here, no matter what they say.
Not in Star Wars, not in Marvel. I mean, look at Marvel. It's terrible, man. Loki, like that show is terrible. It was just a slap in the face of the character. I mean, he really was the co-character. It was really about female Loki, and I'm guessing season 2 will be all about her.
He gets shown a PowerPoint presentation, and then it completely changes him. It's so stupid.
Right.
This is the guy that a day beforehand ripped out a guy's eye, and less than 18 hours earlier, killed Coulson.
Right, and they show him a movie of a different version of himself's life, or the future him, and he's like, okay, I love my brother and I want to change. It was dumb as hell.
It's a completely different thing with Gamora. She's like, that's different. That's not me. I'm a different person. But
yeah,
I just don't get it.
But hey, guys, the good news is that they're bringing back Echo. So everyone's favorite Native American, lesbian, one-legged, deaf superhero is going to get their own show.
I thought Echo got shit canned.
No, they're dropping all the episodes all together. They're not even doing it episodic weekly. They're doing it a binge drop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's September.
Yeah.
I want to say it's coming soon, Echo. But yeah, they're
I
dropping
think
the whole thing.
it was like I think it was December actually. I think it's gonna be like late in the year.
Oh, is it
because
December?
they're probably gonna want to distract people from
Marvels?
from how bad the Marvels is gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah. I personally feel bad for the girl who plays Kamala Khan, because she Miss Marvel, because you could tell she actually loves comics and she loves the character, but again, they made her from going from Terrigen Mist made her inhuman to grandma mailed me bangles and now I'm a superhero. It's just she's the first mutant.
And none of that. Everyone.
And they're killing her in the comic.
Yeah, they're killing her in the Spider-Man comic.
She's not even getting killed off in her own comic.
Yeah, it's so wrong.
Because it doesn't exist anymore.
Right. But yeah, let's do it all for that. Yeah. Who wants to see the I'm going to watch it for the train wreck that it is, because it you got Brie Larson, Miss Personality, Monica Rambeau. I don't know that actress well enough, but again, it was a dumb way of getting superpowers, and Kamala Khan, and they somehow switch places when they use their powers. Like, that's the whole story, I guess.
It looks like garbage.
Oh, it looks like just crap.
I work too hard for my money. It's just not going to happen.
Oh yeah, I'm not paying. I ain't paying.
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
I feel
Jack
like
Sparrow.
I feel like they internally knew that this film was gonna bomb, and what they did was that because it was gonna have its own 2-week window to potentially dominate the box office. Now what they're gonna do is that they squeeze it in between Dune 2 and the Hunger Games prequel. So when it doesn't do well, they're gonna say, "Hey, well, I mean, these other movies over here. I mean, it was tough competition, even though they're the ones who chose to move it to that time in the first place." But that
I mean, it was supposed to already be out, right?
Yeah, no, actually, it was supposed to come out, I believe,
before Spider-Man.
I think the first initial date was supposed to be like December 2022, sometime like last year, and it's just been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back ever since.
Okay, yeah, it's Disney has just effed up so many things when it comes to these IPs. Yeah. I mean, you would think you own Marvel and Star Wars, like gold mines. All you had to do is keep following the formula, man.
I'm sorry, I'm actually wrong. It was initially supposed to come out in July 8th of last year. Then it got pushed back to November 11th of last year. Then it got pushed back again to February of this year. Then it got pushed back again to July of this year. Now it's been pushed back for a 5th time for November 10th of this year.
Jesus. Yeah, that movie's going to be a train wreck. And there's another movie that's going to be a train wreck. Dude, I'm setting this stuff up great lately. I'm doing good.
I like how he's amazed that he's not screwing up his own show.
You know, pretty good. But we got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny comes out soon, right? But they have I'm going to refresh it so we know we have the right ones. Yeah, 52% from. These are the critics, not the audience, but the critics.
It was lower than that last
it was
time
at
I
33.
checked, so they must have either added or deleted something.
Well, dude.
See, that's really weird because there was 20 when I looked at it last
29,
time. There was 25 reviews, and it was at 30-something%. So even if 33. Those last 4 gave it full 10 out of 10, whatever it is, that still wouldn't change it to 52%.
That's what I thought too, man. I saw it at like 25 or 26, and it was 33%, and now 29 reviews made it 52%. Something's wrong there. But
do you realize how bad this would have to be? Disney can buy the world. You know what I mean? They can buy all the good reviews. I mean, remember when The Last Jedi came out, as crap as that was, everyone was talking about this is the best movie ever. And
90% of critics or something like that.
Yeah. And this looking like this, I'm frightened. I'm frightened of what this might be.
It's funny because what the reviews are confirming is what everyone feared in the very beginning, is that their plan was that they were going to try to push Harrison Ford out the door and have this Phoebe chick be the new Indiana Jones. And then when the news leaked out and they got a very negative reaction, they had to go into reshoots to pretend like that wasn't what they were actually planning to begin with. So now even with the new reshoots of them trying to mask their own mess, people are still coming up with the same conclusion. It's like, oh yeah, this film is really centered around her, not as much as Indiana Jones, which is what they were trying to do in the first place. It was like, it even goes back to like when Spider-Man first came out and they were like, oh, we're going to replace Mary Jane with Zendaya. And then there was like, oh, we're not going to do that. But yeah, basically what you guys did anyway. So
Right. Yeah, you got a lot. It definitely didn't get the greatest of reviews. That's a great name. Ankit Juhanwala. A MacGuffin is meant to be just that, an object that the character chases after in the story. What it is and what it does doesn't usually matter. Surprisingly, it does, and gives the movie its absolute bonkers, jaw-dropping climax. This one talks about how it fizzles into lulls, except for Mickelson, Dr. Schmidt. I guess he's the antagonist, and he's worthy at least. But then you got a couple good ones. Excuse me, I got allergies have been messing with me. This Roy Doherty. Thank you. I can't say that. A film that inherits the directing mantle from Steven Spielberg should know when to step up. It's about time executives realize that franchises can't be cleanly separated from the visions and talents of those who made them. Right?
Good point.
That's a very good point. Like, these are positive ones that don't even really sound that positive. That's a big, something we've all been saying. George Lucas, maybe, his vision is gone.
That's a direct shot at Kathleen Kennedy. That's how I'm seeing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The camera rarely creates meaning on its own, except when there's the familiar brown fedora somewhere on screen, at which point it charges towards it like a happy pup reuniting with its owner. A shot that repeats on at least 4 separate occasions. I don't know what that means. So which one's good? Is it the tomato or is it this paintball shot?
The paintball. No, the tomato is the good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a top critic, Donald Clark. It counts as a sort of compliment to say that James Mangold's film, until a gleefully absurd ending, plays like just another episode in a creaky, unpretentious romp.
See, that's what I'm noticing too. Is like even the ones that are saying that it's okay, it just seems like they're being polite, to
Right.
say the least. It's not like a rave or anything,
Right. No one's saying they love it.
Yeah.
No, right. You're absolutely right.
They're trying to mask just how awful the film truly is. Like I was saying earlier, they'll find a way to be like, okay, well, the movie's bad, but this one girl in the movie is actually pretty good. So that's the thing, right? It's like, no, the movie's awful. And you guys know it.
Right. Another top critic, David Fear. There is a need being met here, but they aren't storytelling based so much as stoking the fan base and meeting the bottom line ones. So that one's like saying like they're trying to hit probably the member berries to stoke the fan base, but there is no storytelling being told. It's just probably like member berry, MacGuffin, member berry. That's probably it.
Show him the hat, show him the whip. You guys happy now?
Right.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember. Do you remember?
Yeah. Steve Pond. If this is the final Indiana Jones movie, as it most likely will be, it's nice to see that they stuck the landing. So that's a top critic, gave it a tomato. But another one says there are many chase sequences that the movie seems held together with slender bits of plot rather than the other way around. Worse yet, there's so heavy CGI that they come off as grimly dutiful rather than thrilling or delightful.
That's one thing I have heard about this film is that apparently their attempts to make Harrison Ford not seem like a man in his mid-80s did not work at all.
Yeah.
And how could it?
Yeah, Tina, I'm going to shoot you a link. I'd like to know what you think about this because you are Bad Takes Tina, so I will send you the link right now.
I mean, look, we all love Harrison Ford.
Right.
He's all throughout the years, he's given us great, solid entertainment. It's not a matter of that. But listen, the man is 80 years old, man. He's 80, and he looks it.
He does.
You can still see the glint and stuff like that in his eye and stuff like that. Yeah, he's in there, but he's still 80 years old.
Hold
You're
on a
not going to
second,
buy an
because
80-year-old jumping off a train, man.
This man's getting ready to play Red Hulk in the Thunderbolts movie next year, which means that by the time we get to Secret Wars, which is supposed to be in like 4 years, he'll be 86 years old by the time we see him in that movie.
That was another thing. Why
And
would
that's
you
the thing
get...
about Harrison Ford. He was an old man when he was in his 40s, and now he's a legitimate old man. So.
He's a real old man. He's a real old man now. And the thing is why would you replace the character with someone even older that might not make it to Secret Wars? Hopefully he does, but I can't see it. I mean, 80 something years old. Like that's rough. And you're right. He looks frail. Hey Tina, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How you doing, boys?
We are doing good.
Hello.
What are you thinking about the reviews?
The reviews for Dial of Destiny?
Yeah.
I'm sad because you know me, I always try to look for the good in things, and I was kind of hoping to go see this with the boys, kind of like we do the MCU movies, because oh my gosh, I mean, my kids went crazy watching the first 3 movies before Crystal Skull came out. And obviously we were quite disappointed with that, but they were still young enough to kind of still think it was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to rope anybody to the theater for this.
Yeah. I mean, look at this one from Esther Zuckerman, top critic, The Daily Beast. She says the de-aging and other CGI manipulation of Ford's body only serves to demonstrate that the Dial of Destiny just wants to turn back the clock instead of doing anything new. Like, I didn't realize they did that much manipulation on Ford, but I guess you had to.
Well, I just can't wait till his whole future gets retconned by her.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you
Do you
guys
think
think
we've
that
gotten
Harrison
past
Ford
the
was going to
age?
do his own stunts or something? I mean, like,
What were you saying,
Listen,
Mark?
guys, do you think we've gotten past the age of like really recasting, like like a James Bond type of situation? You know what I mean? Like, is that like out of the question these days? Like, I know Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones, but honestly, when I was watching Guardians, I could see it in Chris Pratt.
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
100%. I'm on board with you with that. Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I think they were planning on not recasting, but giving it to Shia LaBeouf as like his, kid or whatever, grandkid. I forgot what he was.
Well, I mean, before he
But
completely fell off
lost
as a
his
drunken
shit.
mess.
Yeah. But I would love to see a recast. Why not? Like, why does the character have to die with the actor not being able to play it anymore? James Bond the shit out of it, man. Give me Chris Pratt.
It's like Shakespeare. How many good actors want their shot? It's some of those Shakespearean characters. Why not give it to them?
Right.
That's the way you keep a mythos going.
Right.
I don't understand why we're going to shut this thing down this way, man. It's very, very short-sighted.
Very much so. We got Robert Daniels, another top critic from the playlist. It's a sad and safe ending for a series that once prided itself on big escapades and larger-than-life emotions. Dial of Destiny shows that some relics should just stay buried. Damn.
See, I know what they can do. Marvel can bring Indiana Jones as an MCU character, and then this way Chris Pratt can be a variant of Indiana Jones.
Right.
Fixed.
Fixed it.
Nice.
Yeah, I say, would they? Okay, someone like Kathleen Kennedy, would she even dare put a person like Chris Pratt in that role?
No,
Just
I mean,
what we know of her.
No, not
she's
her
against
charge.
manly men anyway, so
right.
it wouldn't happen.
Let's be honest.
but-
If she didn't have to put up with Harrison Ford, he probably wouldn't even be in part of this project to begin with. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys, do you believe that, because a lot of us heard from sources that it was going to be a time travel where he gets replaced by the broad? Do you believe that was true? I do.
Yes.
I completely believe that's true. And when the backlash from them, when that leaked out, made them do reshoots.
Yeah. Well, not only that, it was the backlash from that, and then it was also the test screenings were horrible, and apparently it was the test screenings that drove them to do a bunch of reshoots and change a bunch of stuff too. Because even within their own circle, people was like, "No, this ain't gonna fly."
Right. That's a cool thing.
They
Cam.
definitely wanted to try it for sure. And
Right.
they're leaving no stone unturned when it comes to squashing the patriarchy and the male image and everything. No way, man. I mean, they're going after Fred Flintstone. They're not going to leave any of them alone.
Yeah, right.
Wait, they're going after Fred?
Yeah, man.
No.
I mean, look
What
what they did.
now?
Look what they did to Fred, in Scooby Doo. Fred was just a stereotypical, rich white douchebag. It was terrible. Terrible. Oh, Velma. Yeah. We'll read a couple more. We have David Jenkins, top critic from Little White Lies. It's an improvement on the, what's that? Scrabble? Crystal Skull? Whatever. But James Mangold exhumation of this, I can't say anything here. Spielberg adventure serial is both tame and unnecessary. I've been hearing a lot about James Mangold not holding a candle to Spielberg's,
Yeah, if they wanted Spielberg, they couldn't get Spielberg. They got the next guy. That's how we got.
But this goes back to what the other comment was saying. It's like, if there's a lot of talented directors and writers out there, they just don't belong in this genre. You know what I mean? It's like we saw that with Robert Rodriguez. I love him. Love him.
Yeah.
But what he did with the Book of Boba Fett
was terrible.
Garbage. He's not a good fit. If
Nope.
you don't share that vision, if you don't share that inspiration, you can't do it justice. And that's the problem that we have, because all of these people are coming in with their big egos and their vanity saying, let me take a crack at it. But you don't understand it. You don't understand it. Because the best thing you can do is sit down, man.
Because Mark, they don't look at it as we looked at Star Wars as a life-changing childhood thing. What they see is, to them, it's a kind of a corny, movie from the 70s and 80s. I could completely reinvent this. And it's like, okay, what did you do? You gave us, steampunk fucking road gang in a Star Wars universe. That was like the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
What, the Bobo Rangers?
Yeah. Oh my God. That was
if you want to understand Star Wars and what George Lucas in part was thinking about, you're going to have to sit down and watch some old Flash Gordon, some old Buck Rogers, Indiana Jones. You're going to have to watch Alan Quartermain. You're going to have to watch. Yeah, you're going to have to watch all of those things that most of these people wouldn't watch.
Right.
You know, because they're thinking it's so dated and everything, but therein lies the philosophy, the inspiration. You know, if you're going to have Star Wars that barely moves like Andor, I'm telling you, and I get why people liked it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They liked it. It was good, solid entertainment for them.
Yeah.
It wasn't Star Wars
Nope.
because they didn't understand the inspiration behind Star Wars. And so Star Wars is not a very like slow moving thing. It's about cliffhangers. You know, it's about swashbuckling. You know, it does slow down to explain the mythos and the philosophy behind the Force and all of that stuff. But for the most part, it was Saturday morning serials.
Yeah, it was
You know
action.
what I mean? And they lost that. They lost it.
They did. They wanted to tell their overblown, pompous storytelling. Like, that's why I didn't mind The Force Awakens at the beginning, like where with Rey all by herself. Like, I actually thought that was a decent part of the movie. And then the beginning with Finn, you know, and
But you know, it's like a
whatever the
mystery
fuck his
movie.
name
is.
It's like you were into
Dameron.
it.
Poe Dameron, thank you.
You were into it because you were trying to figure out where exactly they were going with it.
Yeah.
And you were trying to figure out, like, okay, is this going in a good direction? Is it interesting? And I think the first movie, even though some people do hate the first movie because what they did to like Han and Leia, but I mean, at the same time, it's like you look at the new cast, it's like, okay, I'm at least interested to see where this is going. And then we got the second movie, and then that pretty much killed all hope that we had in the entire franchise after that.
Yeah. Nicholas Barber, a top critic from BBC.com, says the jokes, the zest, and the exuberance just aren't there. So instead of a joyous send-off for our beloved hero, we get a depressing reminder of how much livelier his past adventures were. Wow, that's sad. And the last one, David Rooney, Hollywood Reporter. This is a big, bombastic movie that goes through the motions but never finds much joy. And I like how multiple ones are saying joy in the process, despite John Williams' hardworking score continuously pushing our nostalgia buttons and trying to convince us we're on a wild ride. Like, it doesn't have the heart. It doesn't have the soul. It is, they like you said, Mark, they take the title and the name of the character, but they don't understand what it means to us. The character had heart. He had soul. Star Wars, Luke Skywalker was the heart and soul of it, you know, and you know, the rest of the crew had different parts to play to teach him on his journey. But when it came to Indiana Jones, he made archaeology look cool. Okay. He was like a he wasn't an archaeologist. He was a treasure, you know, hunter. And it was really cool to watch from the beginning scene, and they can't find it.
Yeah, I didn't realize being a professor was actually a boring job because I just saw a professor as someone who had a whip and a hat and went on adventures.
Yep.
And this persistence, this insistence that they have of like reintroducing your heroes as broken, you know, is another thing that's kind of a downer. You know what I mean? Like this is like their go-to with the story, you know, like when you look in on an old friend, you really do want to see that they're doing okay. You know, they're doing fine and everything. And, you know, you can roll up and you know, remember this and blah, 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 you know, but what we get is, and this is really not a spoiler because it's out there. He's divorced, you know, his kid has died and all of this stuff. And, you know, he's old and he's messed up and come on, man. It's like, we didn't want to see Indiana Jones this way. We really didn't.
Do you
it's
see
like
a trend?
Yeah, exactly.
Luke Skywalker,
you know, it's like we wanted to lead in like every other Indiana Jones movie. We want to lead into it with like the teaser, like the big action sequence. You know, when you first watch an Indiana Jones movie, it's always something going on before you get into the actual movie. He's in the middle of something. You know what I mean? Yep. But this is not what we go to an Indiana Jones movie for. Like I said, they just lost the plot, man. They lost the fun and the heart and the soul.
Right. Right, that's a perfect way of putting it. Like, look at Owen Gelberman. Sorry if I said that wrong. Top critic from Variety. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is a dutiful, eager, but ultimately rather joyless piece of nostalgic hokum. Again, joyless, no joy. Like,
oh, by the way, just in case you guys didn't remember, this movie's 2.5 hours long.
Damn,
that's right.
Ooh.
Yeah, damn. And also the woman, right, that they picked, you know,
Yeah, Phoebe Waller. Who's the one who they brought in to, I guess, kind of quote unquote modernize that last James Bond movie?
Right.
Well, she was originally brought on to beef up this script too.
Oh, that's
right.
true. Yeah, that's right. She did a great job. Mr. Tickle Trunk for Canadian 550. Thank you, my friend. It's good to see you here. The imposters always wear the franchise like a skin suit, then demand you to love it like you love the original. Dead IP while is shambles. While in shambles. Yeah, it's true. They want you to believe they understand it better than you do. And they know it better than the creator or the original director and writers. They know it better, and that's why they change everything.
By the way, as far as that divorce thing, I was just thinking, Marion, I love the character of Marion. Always loved her. You know, they're getting divorced. Can you ever, knowing what we know of Marion in these movies, could you ever see her divorcing Indiana Jones?
No.
That was her first love. Even when she was socking him across the face, she loved him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Even in Crystal Skull, which we all hate, you could see the joy still in her eyes when she would say Indiana Jones. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, you don't do this, man. Come on.
Yep. He
So
broke her
cynical.
heart young, but she always loved him. Yeah. Dude, it's cynical. Good way of putting it, man. It's cynical. But some people liked it, like Joanne Titmarsh. London Evening Standard. Yeah. What is it?
That's a bird. A titmarsh is a bird.
It's got big boobs.
It's a marsh filled with boobs.
There it
Actually,
is.
because it's a tit, that means it's small.
Oh, it's little boobs.
We learned something here today.
I know we did, right?
Wait, what about titties?
They're small. There are some genuinely moving scenes as we see this fantastic character finally getting ready to hang up his hat for the last time. Thanks, Indy. It's been quite a ride. It's almost like that one. There are some genuinely moving scenes, but for the most part, I'm just grateful for Indiana Jones. That's what that just said.
Here's the thing, though. Harrison Ford is never just not going to be fun to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to convince myself that there won't be some type of enjoyment to be had just because Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford, even if he is something like 100 years old.
Yeah.
Because he does maintain that glint in his eye. He does.
Yeah.
So it's just that he deserves better. And I think I heard one of these critics say that too. He deserves so much better than this.
Yeah. He's that guy who's like grumpy and the grumpy old man, but you still love him for it. Like David Blaine doing a card trick and he looks at him after he's done and goes, "Get the fuck out of my house." Fucking guy is awesome.
He's like what Clint Eastwood was 20 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Someone who agrees with you, Mr. Tickle Trunk, Mark, is for another Canadian 550. Thank you. You're supporting my channel, and I love you for that. I love the members. Thank you guys so much. Mark's on the money. Their bond is too strong, and is it Marianne? Right? Marianne is a fighter. Marianne, right? She's always been a fighter. She would have fought to keep the marriage alive. Yeah, she would have beat the crap out of him, actually, physically, to keep that marriage alive. You're right. She would never have given up on it.
Well, you see, Harrison Ford is a man, so he has to die a single old white man because that's just how progressive we are now.
We are.
Tell you what, if he gets stabbed in the stomach and falls off another bridge, I'm gonna riot.
Here we go. Richard Lawson from Vanity Fair, top critic. One could feel the 4 credited screenwriters grasping at inspiration and coming up short. What they did manage to make would be perfectly fine as a standalone adventure film starring some other character, but it's not worthy of the whip. How many times have we said that? Like,
There you go.
This isn't a bad movie or show, but it's not Star Wars. It's not Marvel. Like, you shouldn't do that. Like, you don't understand what it was inspired by, who created it, and what they meant to create. It's almost like you either see someone who really doesn't care, like you said, Mark, before, like they're not right fit for it. And then you see people that just don't care. They don't even research the product. They just insert themselves and make a movie or a show like She-Hulk. It was, it was Ally McBeal. It was, like Sex in the City. It wasn't She-Hulk.
And that's the problem. I said that about Solo, when I did my review of that years ago. I said, listen, if you took this movie and took the name Star Wars off of it, took Han Solo, Lando, took these names off of it, you could probably judge it a little bit more forgivingly,
Right.
Because you're judging it on its own merits. But they have to hijack the IP. They have to hijack these characters and do things with them that's not true to the character.
Right.
So it just messes the whole thing up. And that's where they go wrong. Invest in your own imagination, in your own story, and people probably won't be as hard on it. And I think Zack Snyder is going to find that out with Rebel Moon as well, because he's essentially doing a Star Wars movie, but he's not taking that name and he's not taking any of the characters. He's just using an inspiration. Well, and I think that's more respectable.
Look at the Orville. The Orville is Star Trek. I love that series, man. And I can't wait for season 4. I hope they make it, because season 3 was great.
Absolutely.
The first season, yes, it's kind of campy because that's what he promised, but then he turned it into I said Star Wars, but I meant Star Trek. He turned it into Star Trek, and it was better than what we've gotten until season 3 of Picard, even though Picard died and it's not really Picard, but it was a good season. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Great season.
It was very heartfelt.
If they had started off that way, it would have been even better.
If they started off that way, they'd be winning right now, completely winning. But again, people didn't understand the product and they wanted to put their own ideas in it. And look what happens when you go back to the formula. They updated it, but it was still that formula of, we can do this. We're going to fix it. We're going to, come through no matter what the odds are.
Well, see, and I see what you see. Once again, it's like the Time Prophet. You made this point, and I really do respect it. What we're saying is that if Picard hadn't died, if they had started the series off the way that it went in season 3, it would have been easier to deal with, infinitely
100%.
easier. But because they mishandled Picard's character so bad, they turned off a great portion of the audience, and I totally understand that.
I was one of them.
But what they did that was right is that in season 3, like I said, if you had disregarded the other ones, which clearly you can't, but they brought in new characters that went down so much easier because they didn't have to disgrace the legacy characters to do it. You know what I mean? So
they don't really pull anything from season 1 or 2 in that season 3. They pretty much push it to the side. The only thing really from the first 2 seasons was the girl with Worf. I forget her name. Like her history. Other than that, it's Star Trek, and it should have been a different show altogether. Because I'm one of those people. They killed Picard. I can't say that enough. They killed him.
Unsee it.
I can't unsee it. He died. They put him in a soulless golem. And people say, well, there's precedent for that. I don't care. They killed Picard. But
Raffi was horrible from season 1, episode 1.
Yeah, she was. But I liked her better in this season because of Worf and that relationship, but other than that, it was great. The captain, I won't spoil it, but the captain of the Titan, hated him from the beginning. And then I was rooting for him by the end, they did a great job with that series, that season. Mm-hmm. But I understand why people don't want to give it even a chance.
See, and that's the thing, because I see what you're saying, Time Prophet. See, we keep on saying that we understand your point, but listen, I don't fall for cons, bro. It's like, that's not what this is. Like I said, I've done a couple of videos about this, about my reasons and stuff, but I'm not going to explain it. I think people can either accept it or they don't accept it. If you don't accept it, then that's fine. But these people are doing what they're doing, and they don't ask my permission or your permission for any of it, because they have a deeper agenda that they're onto. So all we do is turn on each other as a fandom, instead of doing what we should have been doing, what we used to be doing from the very beginning, which is fighting for our right to like or to not like something. The battle, about who's being true to this or who's being a shill about that is useless. It's pointless. It's what they want, man. These people, they hold the keys, and not much of what we do is going to sway this or that.
Mic drop, boom, like nobody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to
totally-
overtalk it. You know, it just is what it is.
Yeah, like look at Tina. We bust her stones about that, her takes, but she loves what she loves, and we appreciate that she's, big enough to admit it. A lot of people won't admit it
Do you
because they
guys
feel
really
like
call
they're
her
going to be
Terrible
judged.
Take Tina? Is that her real name, or is that just
Bad Take Bojan was a nickname that Mr. Grant Gregory gave me. So
Yep.
I haven't officially made it my channel name, but I
But
kind of go by it.
It is a good one though. That's a great channel name, and but to say we fell for a con, we're not stupid people. I can't stand Kurtzman, but I can't stop myself from liking something I watched. And I'm not going to lie about it. And I'm sorry, Kurtzman would have got another one no matter what. Do you really think those guys fall up? They fail up. No way he would have been. Come on. He's one of the
Look
golden
at Kathleen
boys.
Kennedy. I mean, if you just want proof of that, failure after failure after failure after failure, and she's still receiving accolades. She's still getting all of these things. The industry it's a business, man. It's a political business on top of everything else. So it's like they're not really that much concerned. I mean, your politicians are the same way. It's like, they come out and shake hands when they need to, but ultimately they know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They know whose ass to kiss. They know where the bodies are buried. They're not moving. They're not leaving. You know what I mean? And even when they do, they have something in place to carry on what their vision was.
Yep.
I mean, let's not be naive here, man. It's not working that way.
Right. This is it's no longer the old boys club, but there's still a club. It's just a different type of club. And Kathleen Kennedy, Kurtzman, his boss, what's his name? The dude who did the first Star Wars and the third one. Why can't I think of his name? J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
They could fail and they keep failing and they have every excuse, but they know everybody and everybody knows them and they still love them. And dude, Kurtzman would have got another one easily. And anybody who thinks it's the same as we kept saying Kathleen Kennedy's going to be fired for the last 5 years. It just didn't happen. And we all thought it would happen. It just didn't. No matter what sources we heard, I'm not ripping on anybody who has said it because I have said it myself. But there is a game being played that we just are not a part of. And it has nothing to do with the fans.
Like I said, I likened it to politics. I mean, I don't want to get political here, but I think it's an undeniable fact that cities that are run by Democrats just generationally are run down. They're terrible. And it's gone on, like I said, for generations. Everyone sees what their handiwork is. It never gets any better. It steadily gets worse, but they still end up coming back. You know what I mean?
And continue to vote
pretty
for
much.
it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're voting for him, but still, it's a political game as well. I mean,
Yeah.
we all know it's not, at the end of the day, it's not about who votes for who. It's just not.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like we go out there and we play this game every 4 years or whatever the case may be, but these people know what they're going to do. They know who they're going to install. And it's never going to get better. It's not designed to get better. That's what I mean. It's going to take something more drastic than whether or not we watch or whether or not we vote or anything like that. People got to get off their asses and do the work if they want to have a real change in anything. These people have to be removed. I don't want to go too far into that. But ultimately, that's the only thing that'll bring about any type of change. They have to be removed.
Amen.
There ain't no voting anymore, bro.
Then the problem is also even if we did vote somebody in, it's the people that don't get voted in that really run it. And I love Time Prophet. No one's attacking you. I respect why you're saying what you're saying, man. I get it. But we got to remember, and you said nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. It's just that I've seen too many people, literally full out fighting each other over this Picard thing. And it's like, dude, that's what we've been fighting. What we love is what we love. And you can't, I'm not here to, I could tell you have a shitty take, but I'm not going to disrespect you. That's the one thing.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is if you didn't see Brent Spiner's performance, if you didn't see LeVar Burton's performance, if you didn't see, Riker's performance, Jonathan Frakes, you did miss something. That's all I'm saying. It's like, I get the political stuff and everything like that, but these people that we loved, watching it, and it's more than just nostalgia. They bought their A game. Mm-hmm. They bought something to us to say, this, thank you, to you guys. And so long. You know what I mean? And that's the way I respected it. That's the way I took it.
The actress's real name for the counselor is Riker's wife.
Rena Sirtis.
Yeah, I can't stand her as a person. Like her political views are the exact opposite of mine, and it all went away when they did a great job. I loved the series, but like that is something I could say. Like when you have something that's good that you love, that you can literally take someone you hate and watch them and hope that they survive and everything works out. Like that's good writing. That's good acting. That's great acting. You know, like I really enjoyed it. But I can't stand her as a human being. What is
Tickle
that?
Trunk? Tickle Trunk said LeVar Burton wasn't good. Dude,
Marina
come on, man.
Was
When he was begging Data to snap out of it to save his daughters, bro. Come on, man.
Yep.
That was top notch.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I'm with you. And Data, what's his name? For Data, the way he jumped between his alter personalities, he was unbelievable, man. Yeah. Unbelievable. Last review, Robbie Collin. It ultimately feels like a counterfeit of a priceless treasure. The shape and the gleam of it might be superficially convincing for a bit, but the shabbier craftsmanship gets all the more glaring the longer you look at it. Damn, that is a good take right there. This movie's going to suck. This movie is going to suck. It's crazy, man.
Heartbreaking. Yeah, yeah.
I
would have rather seen a recast, but we've already been down that road.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you were going to continue, that's all.
I love you, Time Prophet. I wish she went over there with you guys. I can't stand her. I got to cut it short tonight because I got to work tomorrow morning early. But that was fun, guys. Hour and a half. Usually we're a 2-hour show, but I thank everybody for coming by. Guys, please like, share, comment after this is over. YouTube has not been friendly lately. All of a sudden, not getting subs, views. It's been really hard lately. I know I haven't put out a lot of video content, but if you guys can share this out, retweet the tweets, I really appreciate it. I thank you to my members and everybody who does super chats and stuff like that. I really appreciate you guys because ever since they demonetized me, man, it's been hard to grow this thing. So I appreciate you all. You guys working on anything? Mark, are you working on a video or anything?
Well, I just want to say there's some people here who I see regularly in my comment section. I'll be back soon. There's been a couple of things going on, with my son and stuff. And he's fine and everything, but sometimes you got to put all your energy into that, So I haven't done like a video in probably about 2 weeks or so. But, we're taking care of things here and everything. And, that's how you stay on track, man. But, I'll be back. So for anyone who might have noticed, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. And all love to you, man. I'm going to share this real quick also from the Time Prophet. Might want to blow up the picture. Damn it. Oh, it's like a little GIF. Oh, yeah, I'm in a GIF finally. Sporking News is the Little Mermaid too. I love it. I made a GIF. Thank you, dude. That's my first one. I know that's corny that I'm happy about that, but I really am. Shags. Hey, man, why don't you come on the show one of these days? I know you're different hours and stuff, but I love your stuff. Come on. You're in the chat. We love you, man. Jacob, what's going on with you?
Let's see. Monday we're going to be doing my full Fast and Furious 10 review. It's already up on Bounding in the Comics. If you haven't checked that out, it's a very, very detailed not review of the movie. Tuesday Barroom Podcast. Last week, or I guess this week, we had Chris Gore on, so go check that out on YouTube.
Yeah, that was huge. That was awesome.
And this next Friday, we'll be doing a movie night on Twitch and Rumble. We're watching Dolomite, so there you go.
Dolomite, nice.
Woo! And I figured, we end the show on a good note. So here's a video of Barry Bonds hitting a ball about 700 feet in Japan. So
Jesus.
Wow.
Who says we don't need steroids in baseball?
When was this?
Does that have been like 2001, 2002? Because obviously the San Francisco Giants is a Giants team in in Japan as well. So it was kind of like a little co-promotion thing. But yeah, he hit it pretty far.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Okay, so I put Jacob's review right here, dude. It's hilarious. I read the whole thing. I was laughing, dude, because some of your takes, I was like, I could see myself thinking the same damn thing. So please, guys, check that out. Grant, you working on anything? Oh, he might not be here right now. Bad Take Bojan, you working on anything?
Oh, yeah, that first video that's going to come out probably before I retire, but but seriously, you can find me Saturday nights before this show at Rogue Entertainment on author Stephen Watton's channel. Then on Wednesday nights, you can come by for the Mad Dump, 7:30 Eastern, because remember, the best Scott stream is the stream without Scott. So
Absolutely.
come join us.
Don't forget, it's not the Mad Dump anymore. It's the Mad Stump.
Oh, yes.
Because
yes,
you got
I stand
Walton on
corrected.
there. I got to say, you guys are really gelling really well on that Wednesday show. I'm liking the back and forth on the panel. I really enjoy it. I hope you guys do check that out. They really do a great job. So please make sure you check out the Monday show, our Wednesday show. I think this Monday, if not this Monday, it'll be next Monday. We're bringing back our Song of Ice and Fire series. So that's my Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon stream, usually with Jane Theory, Tina, Mr. Grant Gregory, I think jumps in there. There's a couple other people off, Mason, who I did a stream on Mason's channel. He only has 61 subs. So I'm going to share that in the link too, because Mason's a great guy. He's free folk of the fandom, if you don't know him. And he only has like 61 subs. We did a live stream last week on his channel, and I will put it in the chat so you guys see it, unless it's still there.
Well, Scott, what are you working on?
It
doesn't matter what you're working on.
Yeah, it really doesn't, because I don't have time. But what we will do is more live streams, and hopefully someday this will be an actual awesome live stream show that reaches millions. That's the way I'm looking at it, But here's Mason's, guys. Please, guys, if you are not subbed to Mason, go check out our stream together and sub to the guy. He's a good dude. Other than that, I thank you guys. Grant will have to work on an updated members list.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, thank you, my brother. But I will send you off with this one. Here we go. Have a great night, everybody.
They've done great. We got Culture Casino out there. We got Sporking News Podcast. We got author Stephen Walton. We've got Lorena Creole. We've got Vigilante Williamson. We got Jake D. I'm forgetting someone.